I actually think that, one, we can practice this, and I'll call this like love. And I talk a lot about love, you know, and as a science teacher, this is a little bit edgy. Like, teachers don't stand up here and say, can we practice being loving human beings to each other? And I don't mean like loving, like, you know, like intimate, like romance love. I'm talking about love, just loving people. What we're talking about, empathy, compassion. Well, aren't these basic skills for a nurse? Empathy and compassion. I mean, really, the physiological blood pH will leave your brain in 6 months, okay? You might have memorized it for the last quiz. You might hold on to it for a while, but the buffer systems and the chemical formulas will leave. But can you practice love, compassion, empathy? Don't you think that will make you just as good of a nurse, or dental hygienist, or human being as the homeostatic values of pH? I actually think probably more so. Now, I mean, I'm not being paid. If you look up the course outline of record, it says nothing about practicing love. But I do think it's probably really important. And it's not like, this is physiology. We can talk about anything in here. That's what I love about biology. You want to talk about sex, drugs, rock and roll, anything you want, we can talk about it because it's all physiology. I practice a martial art called Aikido. And I looks like a little house, like a place of harmony. And so some people translate I as harmony, or others translate it as love. So this is important to me. Ki is this weird energy that we all have. Ki. It's not like muscle energy, but it is like a spirit that runs through our bodies. And sometimes you can feel like you just got up with no energy today. I mean, physically, you probably have the same amount of ATP as you always have, but you just don't, you're not running any power today. And so Ki is that kind of like, what kind of power are you running? And Do is like, it looks like a little person walking down a long road. And there may be obstacles in the way, but you're always Do, walking toward some path with heart. So Do might be translated as the way, and Ki is energy, and I is love or harmony. And so what I practice is the way of harmonizing energy. And so what I'm practicing here is coming into sync with people. And I've been doing this for a really long time, and I'm still no good at it. I'm really, like, I really work at this. This is something I really practice. And it's hard to, like, universally, I was hearing things like, accept people for who they are. Are we all really universally accepting of each other? I mean, really, would wars be fought? Would we need so many bureaucrats in Washington, D.C.? Would we need so many police if we were really loving and accepting of one another? I think this is hard stuff to do, but I think it's a worthwhile path. I think it's really a worthwhile path to be on. And so I'm encouraging you guys to start to think about yourselves as healers and to think beyond knowing, like, oh, when their shoulder hurts, this is how I massage, or these are the meds that I give somebody with heart problems, or blah, blah, blah. Beyond all that sort of technical information, what is equally as important as your love, compassion, empathy, and can you project that into the world? Is that something we do? Could you feel love from across the room from somebody? I think we can. I think we can project our love across the country. I think we can project our love across the world if we're strong enough. So start practicing. Practice the way of love and harmonizing energy. Now, you might look at some of my exams and go, man, that is anything but practicing the way of working. Okay, I get that. To me, a lion eating a zebra is love. That zebra is now lion. This is the way of the world. This class is hard. Love isn't all Hallmark cards. Oh, sweet love. No, sometimes parents have to be tough love. You know that. And I'm not putting myself in a parental role. I'm a teacher. Sometimes classes are hard. It's still love. It doesn't mean that I don't love you. If I'm hard, I'm still beaming love and compassion. And if you don't do well, maybe even more compassion. I talked about this last time. It's harder, well, it sounds so stupid when I say it like that. It's harder when it's hard. It's really more like, how do you bring yourself to class? How do you bring yourself to this book when you're just getting it? When it's hard. Some people pick this stuff up easy. There were a bunch of 15s on the first quiz. I was impressed. And then there were people who didn't get so good grades. And it's like, wow, this is going to be hard. And I send my love out to all of you. Okay? Practice. Practice this with me. Work with me on this. From there, from that little sermon, we're going to go into chapter 4. We've got 2 minutes left, and I'll get you up and stretching here in a second. I hope this is okay, because sometimes I want to talk to you guys about things other than physiology. It always relates to you guys being healers. I'm not going to just